prepping for the game. We should be getting off and running in just a couple of minutes. I've been reliably informed that St. John's College is on a 4 or 5 winning streak against St. George's College. We ran an Instagram poll earlier on in the day, and 67% of fans believe that St. John's are going to run away with another victory today.
18, which means pick what is GK. The next answer. Thank you.
Teams are just completing their final preps before the start time. Here we go. This should be an absolute cracker of a game today. We are early on in the season, but the boys have both played one match so far this season. St. John's College have played against Hellenic Academy and took a 4-0 win last week. And St. George's College were up against Watershed last weekend and came away with a 4-1 win. If our informants are to be believed, we will be looking at possibly another St. John's victory, but can the underdogs, the Dragons, put a stop to this long-running streak? Here we go, just minutes away. We've just had the St. John's College war cry, and here goes St. John's. All right, that's setting the tone for what is going to be an excellent game. I hope you've all tuned in. If not, share this on your Facebook pages, put it up on Instagram, and get watching. This is the first match of the season being produced and live streamed by Sands Sport Productions, and you can watch games in the future on live stream Facebook page. Here we go. Whistle's blown, and in we go to the game. Good early possession from St. George's, looking after the ball. Early little run up the sideline there from St. George's, stretching the legs. Well, essentially, a game of hockey is pretty much, we're going to look at 3 functions of the game today. I know I'll be keeping my eye out on 3 things: ball possession, non-ball possession, and then the switch period, which is the transition. Either you're winning the ball or you're losing the ball. But what are you doing to recover during the transition? So those are the 3 things I'll be looking at and keeping an eye on. Viewers at home can do the same. St. George's College there with a free hit coming out from the 23. Early circle entry there for St. John's, but St. George's have come away with the ball. Up with the overhead there from St. George's, taken down nicely from St. John's, down the sideline. O'Riordan on the ball now. Oh, good defense there from St. George's to stop him in his tracks. Looking for a quick counter-attack. Dragons looking to go direct into the 25. Picked off by St. John's, but the Dragons have the ball back at the 50. Picked off from St. John's. Excellent work there on defense, but he's given the ball straight back to George's team. A lot of turnovers happening early on in the game here, but that's to be expected. We have to remember that these boys train on grass, and the transition onto the AstroTurf is not easy. A real good opportunity here for St. George's inside the 23. Nice patient build up there, going back, spreading it wide. Right, and we have the first penalty corner of the game for St. George's College. Now, definitely before the game, the teams would have said to themselves they want to get a positive penalty corner percentage rate. Corners are an excellent opportunity to score and to get on the board, so let's see if they can take advantage of this here. Gone short to the first. And unfortunately there, a breakdown in the attacking penalty corner and a quick counter-attack here from St. John's. O'Riordan on the ball. And it's a free just outside the circle for St. John's. Good feed, early shot. Sideline ball with Sprake. Another circle entry for St. John's. And a great call there. We've got a penalty corner. So right off the back of a St. John's corner, we've got our first St. John's corner. Sorry, St. George's penalty corner. We've now got a St. John's penalty corner. The Dragons failed to capitalize, but will St. John's put this one in the net? We've got O'Riordan up at the top of the circle. Connor Higgins with the insert. Great slip left there. Good save from the keeper. And ball's coming out. Good call there from the umpire. So another thing we'll be looking at closely today is the outletting systems from both teams. Playing on grass for most of the season makes it really difficult to get comfortable on the turf with using the width of the field. The boys are used to playing on an unpredictable surface. And of course, oh, that's excellent, playing out of the bowl there at the back. Good intercept from St. John's. Here we go with another entry into the circle. And unfortunately, no one could pick that up. So again, we'll have another look at here at how the St. John's College set up on their outletting. At the moment, it looks like they're playing in a bowl, 2 at the back and 2 wide. Good high pressure there from St. John's College in the press. They've got the ball in the 23. And another circle penetration. Unfortunately there, Miguel Suarez couldn't come up with the ball. But a lot of early pressure here from St. John's College. Spending a good period of minutes here in the St. George's College 50, defensive 50. Just unable to capitalize at the moment. Picked up in midfield there by St. George's College. Good work there from Van Rooyen, causing a turnover, and now St. John's look to build up, patient build up there, sending the ball back to the center back. Excellent. Oh, unfortunately, great intercept there from Cameron. Great ball possession from Cameron. Circle penetration there for St. George's College, and a second penalty corner there for the Dragons. Excellent work from young Cameron, weaving his way down the right-hand side into the 23 and putting a decent ball there into the circle. See if St. George's College can convert here on their second penalty corner of the game. Up to the castle. Oh, great first rush there from St. John's College to pick up the ball. Caused the turnover. Fantastic overhead there from St. John's College. Great speed there from number 6. Good circle entry. Time for the shot. Great shot. Coming off the top bar. Not sure if the keeper got a touch on that. Doesn't look like it. It's a hit out from St. George's, so it looks like straight out off the bar. Decent ball possession here in their defensive 50 from St. John's College. Long searching ball has found the forward line on the 23. But another turnover. Again, a lot of turnovers early on in the game. And it looks like Higgins up there just unable to get on the end of that beautiful ball up from the 50. St. George's maybe just want to take a breather here and just try and look after their ball possession. They're under a lot of pressure on the counter-attack, and here they lose early ball again, and another circle penetration for St. John's. St. John's will definitely want to capitalize on all of this early possession, and it'll be interesting to see here how they set up their press. So they're picking the ball up in the midfield, which means their press is doing its job. Good pick up there. And again, another quick loss of the ball in transition. We go another circle penetration for St. John's. Call from the umpires is a free hit coming in. Now, looks like we've got a long corner here. I think the ball just went off the baseline. A good defense. Just relieving some pressure there, getting the ball out of that defensive 25 of St. George's College. Sorry. If they can just keep calm, St. George's, and get themselves out of this period of really intense pressure from St. John's, you feel that the game might settle down right around the halfway mark. And there we go. That's the first quarter out of the way. We are still goalless between St. John's College and St. George's College. Definitely a green half, that half, with St. John's putting a lot of pressure on the St. George's defense, but they've held firm. We've had one excellent shot on goal from an early short corner coming off the bar, and yeah, I definitely think that St. George's College will grow into the game if, again, as we say, if they can just sustain this pressure. St. John's, they are probably looking like the most likely team to get on the score sheet early. At the end of the first quarter here, it'll be important for both coaches to reset the teams, think about what's just happened in the last few minutes and what is going to be their strategy going forward. If I were St. George's College at the moment, I would really concentrating on use the width of the field, keep the ball out of the center. And here we go, we're almost ready to get stuck into the second quarter. St. George's College with the ball. Just a bit labored on the ball there from the central player. Allowing St. John's to get in here, get a stick on the ball and cause the turnover. Right off the bat, we're back in the St. George's College defensive 23. St. George's will look here, I think, in this quarter just to keep a little bit of ball possession. Just look after the ball a little bit better. Use the width of the field. Keep the ball out of the center. This is good. Another turnover in the middle of the field. Little, looks like an indication from the umpire for a little push there. Oh, excellent ball. Connor Higgins, unfortunately, down on the floor, unable to get to that one. So again, the St. John's press, not too high. They're giving a little bit of space and time to St. George's, and St. George's will do well to use that space and time that they've been given. Good job so far getting out, but again, another turnover and pressure back on the defensive unit. Great through ball there, picked up by Connor Higgins in the top right corner. Early circle entry, just unable to pick it up. Excellent ball picked up wide left. St. George's in there attacking 23. And again, another turnover. Good defense there from St. John's College. Well, St. George's have the chance here to really press the ball high and try and keep the ball this side of the field. They really need to start exerting a little bit of pressure on the St. John's team. It's just too easy to get the ball out at the moment. And here we go again. Nice long ball, excellent pickup. Early entry, Higgins on the end of it. He's got just unable to keep the ball in play. That's an excellent period of play there from St. John's from the turnover in their own defensive 25 all the way up with an excellent circle entry. Running the ball out of the back at this point, probably not the best option for the St. George's team. Again, it's led to another turnover and more pressure on the defensive unit. Little foot there just inside the circle, and we've got another penalty corner opportunity here for St. John's. They really would want to capitalize on this one. They definitely deserve a lead. A goal here would definitely cap off the pressure that they've been putting on for the majority of the game so far. got Van Rooyen up top. Connor Higgins in with the insert. Oh, good intercept there from the first rush. Excellent counter-attack opportunity here for St. George's. Circle, oh, unable to retain possession there, losing the ball over the back line. But that was excellent from St. George's. Really smart there from the first rush. Intercepting the ball, looking wide, 2 passes, and we're already counter-attacking into the St. John's defensive 25. Yet again, really easy to find the St. John's forward line and high-hanging midfield. Good skill. Keeper in there with a small save. Looks like the umpires are calling another short corner. Looks like a stick hack there. I think we're 0 from 4 here for St. John's on penalty corners. Another great opportunity to take a deserved lead in this game. Switched up the insertion here. Oh, good intercept. Again, excellent clearance wide. And it's a St. George's ball coming out there from the sideline. So another missed opportunity there for St. John's. Will they come to rue these opportunities at the end of the game? Excellent working back there from Tony O'Royden to create another turnover, but his teammates have given it straight back to St. George's. Again, looks like the press is not setting up too high at the moment, so still a little bit of space for St. George's to work the ball out of the back. As I say that, you can see the left forward there cutting off the ball around the back, and another turnover. Looking for patient build-up, I'd say. Unfortunately, Van Rooyen's missed the ball, but gathered back again. Excellent defense from Cameron. He's been all over the place today, doing an excellent job soaking up a lot of pressure for his teammates. Counter-attack opportunity again here for St. George's. Another quick turnover and St. John's can move the ball back towards their attacking 50. It looks like counter-attack might be the best opportunity for St. George's at the moment in the game if we keep going this way. The way things stand, Johns are putting a lot of their players over the 50-yard line, which means there is always that opportunity for a quick counter-attack from the back. So if they can sustain the pressure, then Georges have got the outlet opportunities wide, and so far we've seen a number of quick counter-attacks leading to circle penetrations and opportunities to take a shot on goal. Early shot there from Van Rooyen. No one there to get a deflection. Easy outlet again there for St. George's. Just look for them to be patient with the ball here. Good ball protection. And another turnover there from St. John's. Excellent defensive work from the forward line. Circle penetration. Excellent skill. Looking to take the shot, but he had defenders all around him. Again, another early take from the back sees St. George's with another counter-attack opportunity. Loss of possession in the midfield, and St. John's can turn around and attack again. Scotty Landman there with an overhead picked up there from St. George's, and a bit of a blind pass. If I were the coach of St. George's at the moment, I would definitely be hammering it into my team. Just look after the ball when you get it. They're not seeing a lot of the ball, so when they do see it, they really have to value that possession. Excellent work there from Landman, fixing his own mistake. George's with another opportunity just to put a little bit of pressure on the St. John's defense. Excellent tackle. Landman's all over the place at the moment. St. George's with a really low press, not putting too much pressure on St. John's at all. I wonder if they could just increase the pressure, just try and set up maybe a little bit of a higher press and try and keep the ball in their own attacking half. Just building up a little bit of momentum here, St. George's. A little bit more ball possession. Spending a little bit more time in the St. John's 50. And as I say that, well, unfortunately, no one there deep up in the field to collect that ball. Good job there, early self-start. And that will be half-time. So we go into half-time again, 0-0. St. John's with another couple of penalty corners, just unable to capitalize again. Excellent first rush work there in the DPC unit from St. George's College. And a couple of excellent counter-attack opportunities in that quarter again from St. George's. And just there towards the end of the half, it felt like St. George's was just gathering a little bit of momentum. We'll see if they can carry that on into the third quarter. Just sustain a little bit more pressure on St. John's College. because I said that. And it's Nile. Maybe you can edit that part out. Oh, no, I know, but I said the wrong coach's name. Should I correct it? In the game. Confirm, is your head coach is Niall, right? And what does Reds do? Is he since?
Outside. That's where a man down.
Yeah, I'll make a correction. After the speak. All right, here we go. We're into the third quarter. 0-0 for those of you who are just joining. St. John's definitely been putting the most pressure on the St. George's defensive circle, but unable to capitalize. I must make a correction. Earlier on in the game, I did state that the first team head coach of St. John's College was Tendai Mareza, but I have been corrected, and it is actually Mr. Niall Milner.
Only step up on the man. Let's go.
So Royden on the ball early. Excellent from Van Rooyen there, stretching the field, getting the ball wide. No hurry to get forward from St. John's. A little bit of patient build-up play, maybe opening up the gaps a little bit easier, giving themselves better chances when they get into the circle. If they can really stretch the defense with patient play.
Hey, come on. Wake up.
It's definitely a little bit of a Zimbabwean trait, you could say, in the game of hockey, to be very direct. It's good to see the St. John's College boys here just being a little bit more patient and using the width a little bit more.
Come, Sal, go.
St. George's with the ball in their own 23, and if they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players under or just above the 23-meter line, and they're really struggling to get the ball out of there. Again, O'Riordan comes up with the early turnover, and it looks like it went clean out through the baseline. So we've got a free hit here for St. George's College coming out. Now, you'd really want to see them just try and stretch the field a little bit, get some of their players up, create a little bit of depth. They're putting themselves under a lot of pressure at the back with too many people in too small a space, but they look to have managed to get out. And just, again, just lacking a little bit of patience, and retention of the ball is lacking. All the hard work done early to get the ball out of their own defensive 25, and then just turning over the ball a little bit too easily. Excellent defense, but he's managed to get away. St. John's look like they come away with the ball pretty easily out the back again. Excellent ball protection there from the central player. Great ball wide. Higgins is definitely unable to get onto the end of that. That was a lovely piece of play there from St. John's.
Come on, step up. Tell me your man's on the ball. Your man's on the ball.
circle entry. Oh, and a great shot there from O'Royden into the top of the net. Keeper made the early save, but he couldn't direct the ball away from O'Royden, who was waiting just outside the keeper's area, and sends a beautiful lift right up into the top of the net. That is definitely a deserved lead there for St. John's. They've had the best part of possession in this game and finally have made that possession tell. It'll be an important period of the game now for St. George's, just to take stock. They've gone a goal down, but they really need to keep their structure, stay nice and tight in defense, and just make sure that they get through these next few minutes without going a second goal down. You feel if they go a second goal down, it might be game over. Another opportunity, a little left-sided flick coming in there, just past the outside of the post. Here we've got our replay, beautiful ball in there. First save made by the keeper, straight out to O'Royden, and just a fantastic, took his time, knew what he wanted to do with the ball, and just rifles it into the top of the net. Little opportunity to run here for St. George's. Just got one teammate up with him, manages to keep the ball. Yeah. Excellent defense there from O'Royden. Tries to play an early ball upfield, but intercepted from St. George's, and they can turn and put another series of passes together. Excellent running from midfield. And Scotty Landman's there to intervene, but picked up again by Cameron. Looks like Daniel Van Rooyen's just been given a green card. Didn't manage to see what happened there. But Johns are now down a player for the next couple of minutes. This is a really important period for St. George's. They need to capitalize on this man advantage. Man advantage is an excellent opportunity for St. George's to use the ball a little bit quicker, less running with the ball and more passing. Use that space on the field that's been created by one less player and try to just pass that ball with good ball speed and get it going forward. Great ball in there from midfield. No one able to pick it up in the circle. Substitutions happening here. It's a warm afternoon out here. Definitely rolling subs on and off is a great idea. The guys are putting out a big shift. Another opportunity here. Just look after the ball. Excellent find. George's with another opportunity here just to create some pressure on the St. John's defense. Coming in from the sideline. Unable to get the ball. It's opportunity for a quick counter-attack here from St. John's. Excellent early ball. Left corner is a dangerous area to be. Good job getting it out of there. Excellent play from St. John's. You can see the intention is to get out of that left corner, get the ball into the midfield, and then distribute it out to the right and try and cause an overload.
Ethan.
Both Titch and Donald are umpires for today, having a great game. Haven't had too much to do off the ball. It's been a fairly disciplined game. Only the one card so far for Daniel Van Rooyen.
Easy, strong.
Keep your man, talk, boys. Get five, get five.
Set four.
Oh, an opportunity for a shot, but a little bit wild there. Ball bouncing, ricocheting. Just didn't manage to get a nice clean hit on that. St. John's have an opportunity to just calm it down. Again, way too easy for St. John's to get out of their defensive 25. George is definitely chasing the game at the moment, and I'd expect before the end of this third quarter we might see them putting on a little bit of a higher press. But here they go with an opportunity. Clear shot for, oh, and he misses. Unfortunate. That was a real good opportunity there for Georges to pull it back to 1-1. Again, you can see the press, not too much pressure. It's just too easy. Plenty of time on the ball for the St. John's players. The game becoming a lot more open at the moment. We're going from a St. John's attack to a St. George's attack. Lots of turnovers. Players definitely getting a little bit tired as we draw close to the end of the third quarter. It's excellent back play there from St. John's. Keeping it simple, just spreading the ball around the back, waiting for their players up top to create the space and the opportunity. Unfortunately, Sprake misses the ball there, and we've got another opportunity. St. George's coming into their attacking 25. Excellent ball. Good overlap there from the back. And another excellent piece of defense from St. John's. A little bit of a niggle there, but umpire Titch is right on top of it, keeping everybody calm. And that's it. That's the end of the third quarter. St. John's managed to keep their lead. It's 1-0 going into the fourth quarter. Definitely evened out the game a little bit in that third quarter. St. John's not as dominant in possession as they had been for the first half. It'll be interesting to see how fitness plays a role in this fourth quarter. You can definitely tell the players are starting to feel it out there. It is a hot day, and there's plenty of running around, so it'll be telling, seeing which team has got the edge where fitness is concerned. Welcome back, everybody. It's the fourth and final quarter of today's game, the matchup between St. John's College and St. George's College. Historically, we've been told it's been a dominant period for St. John's over the last few years. If St. George's are going to turn over that piece of history, they're going to have to give it their all in these next few minutes. The good news for them is the third quarter was a lot more open, so you expect there are going to be a lot of opportunities coming up for both teams in this game. Van Rooyen is back on the field, so we are back up to 11 on 11. St. George's didn't manage to capitalize there in the man-up advantage. Again, St. George's press again, just not high enough, I think, not putting enough pressure on at the moment on St. John's. They are chasing the game, so they're going to have to at some point go for broke. Nice piece of skill there. Two St. John's players going in on the ball carrier. St. George's ball early on in this fourth quarter, and an opportunity to see if they can get a circle penetration and at the very least get a shot on target. Really low ball speed there, putting his own player under a lot of pressure. They've managed to spread the ball right, and Tony's picked it up again. Out by Arroyden. Fantastic overhead, looking for the right. Oh, picked up by Sprake. Excellent control of the ball. Just on the edge of the circle. Got the ball. Takes a beautiful tomahawk there from Sprake. Excellent piece of individual skill at the top of the circle to give himself the opportunity there. Great save from the keeper. Got a long corner here for St. John's. Spread the ball right, try to overload the right-hand side. Early ball into the circle, and umpires calling, so coming out for St. George's, taking the ball quickly. St. John's able to come straight back. A great little touch there from Higgins. Lines up. 2 or 3 shots on goal there from St. John's, just unable to find the back of the net. Definitely escaped one there, St. George's, but they've got to do their best now to keep this. Probably, I think it's about the 6th penalty corner now for St. John's. So far, they haven't managed to capitalize on any of them. So the defensive penalty corner unit of St. John's has been doing a fantastic job so far. And they need to carry on now. Definitely don't want to go 2-0 down at this stage of the game. Take the ball short, looking for the sweep across, diagonally looking for someone on the far post. Still managed to get a shot off after that penalty corner broke down. But again, St. George's have escaped, and score still at 1-0. There's always an opportunity they can come back into this game. Plenty of time left. Definitely tell St. George's are looking for those counterattack opportunities. As soon as they get the ball in midfield, they're turning and looking up for that high-hanging forward. St. John's have done a decent job at the moment to counteract that. But as the game gets towards the end, they are getting more tired, so those counterattack opportunities are going to keep coming. Suarez with a circle penetration, picked up by his teammate. Another escape there for St. George's. Excellent work there. Nice patient build up here from St. John's. Higgins will want to get out of that left-hand corner. He's managed to keep hold of the ball. Again, excellent distribution. Nice and patient, not forcing the ball forward, knowing that they can make their chances, create spaces in the St. George's defense, and no doubt the opportunities are going to come. Unlucky there, unable to get hold of it there on the right-hand side. Blown there, not 5 yards when the free hit was taken, so Georges have still got the ball, and right away a little bit of a lack of discipline there and technique, lifting the ball straight up into the defender. Shot there from the top, straight into the keeper, taken just from outside the circle, so that looked like dangerous play there called by the umpire. Now it looks like it hit a foot, so it's St. George's ball coming out.
Drop on his head, drop! Drop out! Tony, drop!
Again, the St. John's press doing its job. St. George is finding it really difficult to get out of there, and straight away St. John's have another opportunity attacking. A little bit of no, definitely penalty corner, definitely. Just gave him a little chance there to see if he could get the shot off, but a good call there from the umpire, definite foot. It's a good start to the fourth quarter from St. John's. They're re-establishing the dominance that they had in the first couple of quarters of the game. As a coach at this point, you'd really like to see your team capitalize on one of these attacking penalty corners. They've had their chances today, and they'll really want to finish positively here. Controlled at the top, slip right. Can he get the shot off? Wide shot. Ran out of a bit of space there, but still got the shot off. Unfortunately, he shot it wide of the near post. So St. George's escape again there. Still only 1-0 to St. John's in this game, and plenty of time again. St. George's are definitely not out of it. Turnover again in their defensive 50 from St. George's. St. John's, another opportunity here to attack the circle. Good early play there from Oroyd, and unfortunately the umpire had to pull him back to retake that. Excellent spread of the ball from St. John's. Just toying with the St. George's defense at the moment. Able to get a touch on that. Now, outletting has really been an issue for St. George's today. They just really haven't been able to figure out a plan and a structure to be able to counteract this press from St. John's. It's really put them under a lot of pressure in the game, and given the St. John's team a lot of easy options at attacking that defensive 25 of St. George's. Landman unsure there what the call was for. Well, we're inside the 23-meter line, and the player did not go 5 yards before the St. George's player took the self-start, so we've been awarded a penalty corner here for St. George's. This is a massive, massive opportunity for them to bring this game to 1-1. Totally against the run of play at the moment. Just a little piece of ill discipline there from St. John's, and it could really cost them. Excellent insert there. First shot came unlucky there. St. George's managed to get that first shot just off. Good pressure from the St. John's DPC unit. First rush did his job, upset the first strike, and St. John's managed to retain their lead. But here comes Cameron, great piece of defense there, turning over the ball. He's been poleaxed inside the circle, so this will be an interesting call from the umpires. They're going to come together and have have a look. I think that the trip may have happened just outside the circle, even though he landed inside the circle. This is a big call. Again, the umpires don't have the luxury of looking at a quick replay, so definitely a big call here. So it looks like the penalty corner has not been called, which makes us believe here that the infringement took place just outside the circle. So it's a St. George's ball. St. John's need to be really disciplined on defense here. We want to see man marking. Players need to be tight, make sure there's no room for St. George's to work the ball into that circle, and they've done their job. Excellent defense there from St. John's. Looking for a quick counter there, and it's coming straight back at them, but they've managed to pick the ball up in midfield. Chance to just look after possession at the moment. Critical period of the game here. They've managed to soak up. And that's it. That is the game. Fantastic job there from St. John's College. They managed to hold on in the dying few minutes of the game when St. George's were putting on the pressure, looking to get back into the game. St. John's wins this one against St. George's 1-0. It's been an excellent game. Definitely, I think you'll all agree at home that St. John's were probably the deserved winners. They did dominate possession, and all round, just a better game from them structure-wise. They're outletting, they're pressing, and just able to look after possession a little bit better than St. George's were. Great game here today. Hope you guys all enjoyed it at home. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, you can catch some more of this excellent high school boys and girls hockey this season right here on Sandsport live stream on Facebook. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. St. John's College take the win 1-0. Coach Niall Milner will be happy with that one, you feel. Probably looked like they could have gotten 3 or 4 goals there today, but came away with the 1-0 victory and managed to sustain a little bit of pressure in the dying minutes of the game from St. George's, which he'll be pleased with. Not a great reflection on their attacking penalty corners. They'll definitely be hoping this week they can get to work on that and make sure that their APC percentage goes up. 0 goals today from 6 or 7 corners. They'll definitely be looking to improve that. Their next game up next weekend is against Prince Edward, while St. George's Dragons, I think, will be facing Hellenic Academy. So excellent games coming up for both these teams next week. We hope you guys tune in. It's been an awesome day today. I'm Sarah Blythewood, and I've enjoyed commentating on this game for you guys.